Oklahoma State, this is not going away. I thought it might go away over the weekend. I thought perhaps news cycle would swallow it and then I would have to be the person actually carrying the water on it. And nope, that ain't what happened. Because I, I think 6,000 folks attended the rally at BOK, and then there was a bunch of folks outside, looked like a flea market. I went, I took notes. I also, saw the OAN Chief White House Correspondent, Chanel Ryan, sporting an Oklahoma State t-shirt. Troll hard, okay? Like, all I got is jokes on that. But it also speaks to just how seriously they're taking this, or more to the point, how seriously we ought to take this. Because as I said before, Mike Gundy is the front to Oklahoma State. He is their Baker Mayfield. He is how Oklahoma State is viewed. And turns out, the Oklahoma State University Black Alumni Society ain't about it. But more than that, you're speaking to a larger issue. And one of the things that has been asked, right? When Colin Kaepernick took a knee, what is he asking for? When Tommy Smith and John Carlos raised a black fist in the air, what are they asking for? Oklahoma State University Black Alumni Society has you covered, okay? In their letter to the Oklahoma State Board of Regents, they list 10 measurable actions that they would like to see during the 2020-2021 school year. Okay? Among them, number 1, institute contractual instruments that tie employment and pay for key college administrators and coaches to diversity conduct standards and values. Require all employees of the athletic department to undergo immediate and annual documented truth-telling, focused cultural awareness, or implicit bias training regarding racial, ethnic, religious, and other issues of discrimination. Number 3, require truth-telling, focused cultural awareness, implicit bias training, right, for all faculty and staff during the hiring and onboarding process. Number 4, establish an independent and objective system for monitoring the racial and cultural health of OSU and its athletic department. Number 5, survey OSU Black alumni and other ethnic groups annually for feedback to gauge the racial and cultural health of OSU and its athletic department. Establish a diverse OSU and athletic department advisory council with majority independent and OSU BAS members to support, report, and improve cultural strategy and transparency. Partner with OSU BAS to create a personal and professional development program for Black student athletes designed to prepare them for post-college life, careers, and alumni retention. Also, the program would include assigned OSU BAS mentors. Establish an annual program where Black student athletes at OSU have meaningful dialogue with members of the OSU campus police and the Stillwater Police Department to build relationships and proactively understand and address issues of law enforcement. Support active Black student athlete involvement in OSU's African American Student Association and other student organizations to remove them from the athletic bubble to better integrate them into the general student population. And finally, require coaching staffs and key athletic administrators to lead by engaging in personal interaction with and outreach to the OSU BAS and Black student campus organizations. They also take pains to relay the above recommendations are by no means all-encompassing. However, we do believe that they represent a good starting point for making measurable changes and improving the accountability of OSU and its athletic department. It is signed by the Oklahoma State University Black Alumni Society Board of Directors. Now, there's a lot here to unpack, but it is also worth unpacking because, as I have said, the first African-American student, some of y'all, Black student to me, admitted to OSU came in 1949. Okay? That's just 71 years ago. It's not that long ago. And she, Nancy Davis, had already graduated from college once. She's going to get her master's to graduate in Langston. This also is them pushing out what they would like to see from Oklahoma State. I have yet to see what changes, positive or otherwise, Oklahoma State is going to make transparent to us. I am going to acknowledge that they have finally changed the name of Murray. For those of you that don't know, Alfalfa Bill Murray upheld Jim Crow laws in this state. He was governor for too long. And it's not as if it has not been put before Oklahoma State University for decades to change the name of that doggone building. Because we don't need to glorify racists. We don't need to have monuments to them. I am overwhelmed by how many Confederate statues we have in this country. Why are we glorifying acts of treason? Are there any statues for Benedict Arnold? We got any of those? No? Okay. Any for, I don't know, Cornwallis? We got any of those? You know, I don't understand, except from a position of hate. A position of superiority in a country that is supposedly priding itself on equality. As it relates to sports, yeah, I'd like to see this. I also would like to see more players, if there are, supporting Mike Gundy through this. We've heard from Vernon Morency. We've heard from Dion Imade. Anybody hear from Barry Sanders? Thurman Thomas? Harley Dykes? Any of those dudes? Huh? Tatum Bell, Donovan Woods, Rashawn Woods. If Gundy is so beloved by his players, this is a good time to hear from him. I haven't. We haven't. If anything, what we have heard is this is going to hurt recruiting, and he doesn't get it. But, and there's always a but, he's not a bad man. No, I can get behind he's not a bad man. I can also get behind what changes is Mike Gundy going to make personally. Is he going to show more empathy? Because right now, he sucks at apologizing, which shows how often he's been made to do it. If you leave it to Mike Gundy, I'll bet he tells you he treats Zach Robinson the same way he treats Chuba Hubbard. Is that a good thing? I don't think so. I am wildly just at my wit's end about what it's going to take for substantive change to happen. No matter if it's the Oklahoma State Black Alumni Society who's asking for this list of 10 items, which I feel like would have been very progressive in 1971, but today is the way that so many companies just operate. So many universities already do this. So many. You know, I'm having to point to the University of Texas about how their athletic department and their head coach are trying. I'm pointing to the University of Arkansas, who's got a head coach who's empathetic and cares about his black players. Every single Big 12 football program is majority black. Yes, even Kansas State and Kansas. Even West Virginia, Iowa State, Baylor, Texas Christian, Texas Tech. At this point in our growth as a state, as a community, let alone a country, are we going to wait for folks to change, or are we going to expect them to already have done this work? Especially when they're making $5.25 million this year in a pandemic. 40 million people don't have jobs. People are terrified of a virus we don't have a vaccine for, all while we're in the middle of a racially charged moment called Black Lives Matter. The time for apologies has come and gone. The time for change and actionable, measurable change is right now. From the position of a player, I understand contradictory. I understand that it is contradictory. I understand wanting to play and having to play through it. As why I am telling all those in charge, sporting institutions, sports teams, but mostly at Oklahoma State, to protect those kids. Chuba Hubbard should not have to be an activist. He's a running back. He's not trained to be an activist any more than Colin Kaepernick was trained to be an activist. But he knows what he believes in and he knows how it feels. The institution that is Oklahoma State University is supposed to be the place where he learns how to channel that. How to write down his thoughts, how to deliver his thoughts, how to create a more diverse and culturally aware campus. I heard from so many former athletes at Oklahoma State and alumni, black and otherwise. I heard from black folks that grew up in Stillwater and went to Oklahoma State. I heard from folks that were in school with Mike Gundy. To a person, they're all pissed. They're all mad. And they all can't stand the silence that is deafening from Oklahoma State University on this issue. Cool. Trot Mike Gundy out in front of Scott Van Pelt again. Next time you do it, let's hear about what he's going to do and what you're going to do as a university. My own experiences at Oklahoma State were immoral for the most part. Pursuing a PhD in English at a place where we were made fun of. Because, yeah, this is the place that you go to when you get to just be. I felt very comfortable in Morrill Hall, but once I stepped outside, I had to know where I was going. All because I wanted to pursue my education. Because there was a brief moment in my life when I wanted nothing more than to be an English professor. Nobody should have to feel uncomfortable pursuing their education, let alone playing a football game.